So is SPY getting ready to bounce, or are these bears about to come in and push us a lot lower here in the near future? What's going on, everybody? My name's Tony with Real Life Trading. This trend line is what I'm going to use to answer that question. Let's dive into it. So SPY is kind of doing some interesting things. We had a big blow off top candle on Friday where it just gapped up to an amazing level. Bulls ran and then just got absolutely whooped. And then Monday, slight gap up, inside candle, kind of closing in here. Whenever we build an inside candle inside the previous day, pressure is now building. And so we want to watch and see which way these markets go from here. At the moment, we are gapping down. So that is a pretty strong sign that these bears are trying to step in here on SPY. But we've got to look at the entire picture. SPY has a long-term trend line running right through basically the 10 and the 20 EMA right here. The fact that we're gapping below the 10 is a pretty strong gap for the bears, but really the EMA that everyone was watching is this 20 EMA, this blue line right here. That's where the bulls have been in at. So we have that sitting right below this trend line. If we come down, you can see how we're reacting to this trend line for multiple days, and this trend line goes back quite a ways, and you've seen bounces off of this for pretty much the entire year. So this is a very large level that I'm watching. So if the bulls give up and the bears really push us down, I'm going to need a strong close below that 20 EMA and this trend line. If that happens, any retest at this point should be met by bears and push us a lot lower. If we decide to trap these bears and it comes down and we start to break this trend line, a lot of bears get very, very excited and it hits this 20 EMA and the bulls take over. This could be a very strong squeeze because you always need those bears jumping in and then getting taken out for the big moves to come. Well, we've been pretty much sideways now for the entire month of October. So a large move is coming. We've got the elections looming here in a couple of weeks. October tends to be very volatile, and there's a lot of uncertainty right now out in the economy. So there is a pretty good mixture right now of, are we actually going to get some dips? And if so, how far are we going to go? I'll answer that question here in just a few minutes. Or are the bulls going to push this thing higher and we're just going to ride the wall of worry straight on up to new all-time highs? Both of those are on the table until price action proves to us where we want to go. Right here is where a lot of people are guessing. And this is where a lot of people struggle in their trading, is because they guess like, oh my gosh, this looks so bearish. And it is, it's a pretty bearish gap. But you have to take into account the amount of bull signals that are sitting right in front of this, where if they want to come in, it definitely can. And remember, we are extremely bullish on the weekly and on the daily. So the bulls are in control on the larger time frames, which means bulls are just waiting on buying the dip opportunities. And so my advice would be to sit back and just let the moves happen without you. See where it wants to go. Are we going to start getting that strong close down through that 20 EMA this week? If so, great. I now know on retest, I'm going to look to short this thing and come on lower. If we start putting in lower wicks, a lot like this candle over here, if we come down and put in some lower wicks and start to rampage, great. Now I know the bulls are stepping in and I know a clear location where I can be putting my stop so I can lose small. Again, it's not about being right or wrong. It's about losing small if you're wrong and giving yourself a chance to win big if you're right. So if this does come down and start to wick, great. We can start looking at some bull plays, going higher, have our stop here. If we're wrong, we're going to lose on our bull positions. But guess what? Now we know the bears are here. We just flip because this thing is going to drop. If the bulls commit and then get taken out, I'm not waiting on a retest. This thing will just drop. So where is it going to drop to? Well, we have huge put levels sitting at 570 and 565 for the short term right now on SPY. So those would be the first levels that I'd be watching. That's what the options are telling me, is 570 all the way down into 565. I personally think that we could come visit the 20 EMA on a weekly, and that would bring us into that 560 range, somewhere through here. Anywhere in this area, bulls should be here. This is a huge, huge bull demand area, so expect bounces to come through. There is a high probability that this year ends extremely, extremely bullish, but most likely there needs to be some volatility coming in. So I wouldn't be shocked at all to see those bears push down through, wait for the bulls to give us their signal, and then to finish the year out very strong. None of this has to happen. We could just go cranking all the way into the end of the year. But until we get to that 600 to 620 level, I don't believe the bulls are done. So any of these moves down should be buying opportunities. until these bulls get to their targets. Once we get to targets, you'll see massive volume come in, and then be careful on buying the dips, okay? So keep an eye out for this level down through here. This is what I'm watching, anywhere from 570 down to 555, somewhere in there. Go to the smaller time frame to confirm that the bulls are starting to come back in. Look for your bull signals, but this is an area where I'm going to start buying. I'm not just going to be buying blindly down through here, though. I'm going to wait for the bulls to show me that they're stepping in, but I know it's going to happen somewhere in this box, most likely if this fails. Bulls need to continue to hold strong through here. If they do, we will continue to ride this wall of worry straight on into the election, and that's going to lead to some seriously fun trading. If we can get up around $600 leading into this election, it will be a crazy place. This is where I'm be looking to buy some puts up through here on this bigger trend line. So use the charts for your advantage. Right now, this looks extremely bearish, but this is a buy zone. There's a lot of bull entry signals sitting right here. So we are not out of the woods yet. If this comes down and the bulls start to buy it up, it will squeeze. So the two levels that I'm going to be watching this week, 585, a daily close above 585, and this market will run like crazy. Or 577, a daily close below 577, and this market is most likely on its way lower. Keep an eye out for those two levels, and your trading is going to become so much more consistent. Don't trade all the mess. Let the market show you what it wants to do, then trade. The problem is people don't understand how to read these markets. And so what they do is they get their confirmation from big moves. And so they see all this bull come through and they go, this is my confirmation to go bullish. It's like, no, this is the place to exit the trade. Your confirmation to go bullish happened down here, right? As soon as we started breaking up above that bear candle, time to get in. Now it's time to get out. It's the same thing here. If the markets go running bullish, everyone's going to go, oh, now it's bullish, and they get in. It's like, no, you know it's bullish right here. It's time to exit up there. Same thing here. If we start to go bearish and this thing starts to fall apart, everyone's going to start to short it. They're like, now it's bearish. No. Understand how to read these markets. I'll post a link down below for one of my courses. I'll include a discount code, so it's 75% off. I'm only going to do this here for our YouTube subscribers, so leave a subscribe, leave a like. Thank you so much for being here. That course alone will show you how to get your confirmation that the bears are here before the move happens, or the confirmation that the bulls are here before the move happens. That's the key to trading. You don't want to get your confirmation from the big move. You need to be already in the markets for that big move. So these are the two levels that I'm going to be watching. If we break those levels on daily candle closures, expect large moves to come into play this week. Hopefully this helps you guys to make some money. This is what I'm planning on doing this week. Understand these markets, and trading becomes so much more clear. Then all you need to do is press the button and let the trade play out. Lose small, win big. Love you guys. I'll see you next week.